Hi, Angie. Welcome to the podcast.
Hello. I'm so happy to be here.
I'm so excited to have you on. Let's just introduce you for everyone to get to know you.
Mm-hmm. I'm Angie. I'm a Pilates instructor here in Orange County, mostly Costa Mesa, Newport, kind of all over Orange County. Probably get into like the studios I teach at and things like that. I grew up in the Bay Area. Whole long story about like my Pilates journey and everything, but have lived in Costa Mesa now for like the last 3 or so years and started teaching Pilates like 2 years ago. So yeah, that's me. Quick little intro.
I met Angie just by taking her classes. Yeah, first taking her classes, and I remember I'm like, this girl dresses so cute. And you're a really good instructor.
Thank you. Yeah, I was thinking today, like preparing for the podcast, I was like, when was like the first time that we met? Like I couldn't remember. I think it was just like you came to class probably at Escape.
Yeah, definitely at Escape. I think I just probably ended up following you, and then maybe the book club.
Yeah. That's true.
Of, like the event
because you went to the very first book club, right?
No.
Oh, okay.
You guys have met a couple times.
Okay.
Or no, Run Club.
Yeah. Okay, Run Club. Yes.
Yeah,
I was like, there's another club.
Some club that we met at.
Yes.
Yeah, and then we just like talked the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How did you get to Orange County from the Bay Area?
I grew up in the Bay Area, like went to high school, everything there. And when it was time for college, I went to Vanguard University for my first year. So I just went there for 1 year. I was like, I don't really know what I want to do at this point. So I just kind of went because I was like, this is the thing to do. You go to college. And I loved it, but obviously like private school, very expensive. And I still didn't know what I wanted to do. So I moved back home to the Bay Area and went to community college for 1.5 years. So like 3 semesters just to be able to transfer to another school. So then I transferred to Cal State Long Beach and loved Long Beach so much. So I was there also for like 1.5 years, 3 semesters, and then graduated there with my bachelor's degree. Yeah. And then a lot of stuff in between that. So that was like in 2016, 2017. Obviously from living in Long Beach, I was like, I love living in Southern California. And then I was obviously at Vanguard, Costa Mesa. And I was like, okay, maybe I'll try going back to Costa Mesa. And like 2017 was the year I got married. So we lived down here that year and have just been like sold ever since.
Yeah.
I'm like, I love where I grew up, of course, and like all our family is still there. But we love living down here and just being close to the beach. So
I feel like anyone who even visits here like doesn't want to go back.
Yeah.
I didn't know you went to Long Beach State.
Yeah.
I am Vanguard.
Yeah.
I know so many people.
I know. Well, it was
Vanguard.
kind of a long time ago. So yeah, Vanguard, I went 2013 for 1 year, then community college, and then Cal State Long Beach. I graduated like December of 2016.
Okay. And then you moved back, and it's been only 3 years since you've moved
Yeah,
here.
because there's a lot of stuff in between. And I have like very bad recollection of things in my life, especially during COVID. Like we lived at home during that time. And then Joe, my husband, playing professional baseball. So there's like a lot of back and forth with that of like, okay, I'm going to try living down here by myself. And I was like, oop, never mind, not going to do that. So I'd move back home for like a season. So yeah, lots of like in between things, but we have been here now for like 3 years.
3 years
yeah.
together.
Yeah, the first year Joe was still playing baseball. So that was the first time I like lived on my own for like 6-7 months. Yeah. So that was fun. It was fun for sure. That's when I like first started teaching Pilates too. So like I started making friends and everything.
You sort of built your life before he got here.
Yes. And so it made things a lot easier because it was definitely kind of scary at first. And I was having a full-time office job. At the time I started teaching like part-time Pilates, and I didn't have like a ton of friends because I made all my friends through Pilates. So yeah, it was kind of like a more, not to say lonely, because I didn't really feel like super lonely, but definitely like a moment of growth where now I look back and like things are a lot different.
It's not super common that people are married and not living with their partner too.
Mm-hmm.
How did you guys like decide to do that?
Joe got drafted he went to USC when I was at Cal State Long Beach. So he got drafted and we got engaged that year, and then we got married the next year. So like after his first full baseball season. So that was 2017, and he played until 2022. So like that entire time we did long distance. I would just like go visit, every 1 or 2 months here and there. And then obviously he'd be home for the off season. So it was difficult for sure, but I don't know. I mean, we got through it. It was fun, like getting to see each other, obviously like get to miss each other. I mean, you can definitely relate to that. So yeah, it made it work. The time just went by fast. I definitely wouldn't I would do it all over again. Yes. But now that like all that is said and done and we're like living together like permanently now. Yeah. It is a lot. It's nice.
Yeah, I can't wait for that.
Yeah,
day.
It's very fun.
So how did you get into Pilates in the first place then?
I mean, the first time I probably tried like mat Pilates was in high school. Like my mom and I belonged to a gym, like local, big gym, and they just do like regular mat Pilates classes, like boot camp style classes. So we'd always do those kind of classes together. So probably like high school is when I first started. And then when I was at Cal State Long Beach, I needed a part-time job. So I was just like Googling Craigslist, like random little things like what I could do. I like nannied for a while. And then I saw this Pilates studio was hiring for a front desk person. I was like, oh, this seems like a perfect job. So I literally like went to the studio. They're no longer in business, unfortunately, because of COVID. They had to close down. But they were around for like 20 years, like small business. Husband and wife owned the studio. It was amazing. So I worked front desk there, and they had like 4 reformers and then mat Pilates classes, like a small studio. So that's when I first started taking the classes. And I was like, okay, I'm like sold on this kind of exercise. Like I love it so much. Just like it's fun. I noticed like the changes in my body and like low impact. And I never was like a super big workout kind of person. I was like active for sure, but I mean, at a young age, I feel like especially back then, working out wasn't as big as it is now. So I wasn't really aware of that kind of stuff until I started working there. And then a couple more years pass and I had to quit that job. And then I started working at Hoag Hospital. That was like my 9 to 5 job. It's kind of like a long story, but the owner of the studio I work for now, Liv Meta is one of them. They reached out to me on Instagram because I had started posting like I was teaching mat Pilates and this and that. Oh wait, I kind of jumped. So like COVID, COVID time, I started teaching mat Pilates. Okay. I did like an online course and I was literally, we were living with my in-laws at the time because baseball season was supposed to happen and it didn't. So we were living with my in-laws. I was teaching Pilates like in our loft upstairs, just like on Zoom. Okay. So that's when I first like started teaching Pilates.
Is this the studio that was in Long Beach you were teaching virtually?
Yeah. Okay. So we were doing like on Facebook, like a live stream. We did like some Zoom ones. Yeah. So it was really fun because I saw like some of the clients that I had seen when we were still open prior to COVID. Yeah. And then that just kind of died out because of COVID. Now, fast forward to the owner I work for now, reached out on Instagram asking if I was interested in teaching like reformer Pilates classes because they were hiring and like opening new studios. And I was like, well, I don't teach reformer. Like I only teach mat. And then that's when they told me about, they have their own education program. So that's where I was like trained with them, with Liv Meta in Long Beach, the reformer training program, and then started teaching with them.
So did you move down from the Bay then to
Yeah.
Long Beach
So it was like October 2020 or 2021. Again, I'm really bad with years.
It's okay. I don't know the dates anymore too.
Yeah. And I did that in October. We like moved in September. I did the training in October. So yeah, things were kind of happening fast. And like, this is when Joe was still playing baseball. Okay. We kind of just moved down here. We're like, we don't really know what we're doing, but like, we know we want to live down here at least for some time. And so it was like kind of freaky at first. Like I didn't have my job at Hoag yet. We literally just moved like without jobs and like knowing what we're going to do. So at the beginning, it was kind of like, what the heck? And then, of course, things kind of got figured out.
How did they even find you on Instagram?
I don't know. It was I think it was like, I don't know, some kind of fate or something. But I just had a random DM. I was just like my personal page, like posting, teaching Pilates classes online or whatever. Yeah, I don't know. It was so random. So it was kind of like perfect. So that just kind of led me into this. And now like fast forward 3 or 4 years later now, and I'm still teaching for them. So
and
it's really cool.
How many locations?
They have like 7 now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So all over Orange County.
Yeah. Because I also go to Life Med every once in a while. What was your job at Hoag?
I was working front desk there for a urologic oncology department. So like urologic cancers. Yeah. So it's pretty just like sad. I'm a very empathetic kind of person. So even though I was just like checking people in for their appointments, it's, people who have cancer. So just like getting to talk to them every day and like setting them up with their appointments with their doctors was like really important, obviously. But 9 to 5, sitting at a desk. I was also on like the phone a lot. Yeah. So I knew it wasn't like what I was going to do forever. I just still at this point wasn't really sure. Like I graduated from Cal State Long Beach. I just got like liberal arts degree and didn't really know what I was going to do with that.
How long were you at Hogue for?
A little over a year, I think. Yeah, just about.
And did you know that you eventually wanted to teach Pilates full time?
No, so I did the training and I started working at Hogue probably like the same month, October. I started working at Hogue and then I started the training program with Live Meta. Close like May, June of that next year, I started teaching Pilates part-time at Escape Pilates. I followed them on Instagram and the owner had posted that she was like hiring Pilates instructors. So I was like, okay, it's like 6 months after I did my training. Of course, I was like really nervous, but I was like, it's like now or never, you know, like when is going to be a good time when you're not super nervous. So I just went and auditioned with her and she was like, you're hired. I taught my first class and it was so fun. And then I was just teaching like 6 classes a week for like that whole year. So very part-time. And then I was like, okay, I think I can, you know, like make a living out of this, just like doing all the math in my head, like classes I would have to teach, and then like comparing it to having a full-time job, like with benefits and everything. So it is a little bit like a risk and like, can I get all these classes?
So you
and all
don't
these kinds
get
of
benefits
things.
when you're a Pilates instructor?
You can.
Oh.
Yeah. So you have to work like a certain amount of hours and it kind of just depends where you work. Different studios, some are bigger than others. So some are able to offer that and some aren't. So luckily enough, I was able to have it, health benefits.
So you started off with, it's Live Meta or Live?
It's Live Meta.
Live Meta.
Yeah. So background behind Live Meta. Meta means loving kindness. So it's like live loving kindness. But a lot of people do say Live Meta.
Yeah, I say
but yeah, it's okay.
That makes sense. So you started off teaching with them Reformer and then you went over to Escape?
No, so Escape first. So I did my whole training program with Live Meta.
Okay.
I don't even know why. I don't think so. At the time, with the Newport where you have been to, it was called a different studio name.
Yeah, it was like
Core Reform.
Or something.
Yeah.
I've been there too.
Yes. And then so the owners now took over that studio, Live Meta, same like instructor, basically same studio. So at that time I was just like taking classes there. And I don't know, maybe I was like intimidated or something just to start teaching there for some reason. I think like shortly after, I think I started teaching at Escape like May or like beginning of June. And then like July or August, I started teaching for Live Meta.
Got it.
Yeah.
So you taught at Hogue, or you worked at Hogue for a little over a year. Is that when you started to add on all the other studios?
Yeah, so I kind of just started adding on like a couple classes here and there. And this is when Joe was still playing. I hadn't had really any friends yet. So I had all the time in the world. I was working like 40 hours at Hogue and I was teaching like 8 to 10 hours doing Pilates. So I was like very busy, but it was all good. And then that's when I realized, okay, I think I can make a living out of this. And then at like, I think in December 2021, again, bad with the years. December 2021, I quit Hogue and then just like full went.
Did you have a
full-time
plan
Pilates.
or you kind of just?
Yeah, I had a plan for sure. I was going back and forth a lot because like I said, it's like giving up stability of a 9 to 5 job with the health benefits. Like you don't have to worry about basically like getting all these hours that you need to work. But both the studios I work for, like the owners are just, everyone's so great and they're really like willing to work with you. Like, you know, if classes are open or opening, you can kind of move things around. So I kind of was able to like stack, and it was also good timing, it being like the beginning of the year. At that time, you know, things kind of changed in the beginning of the year. People give up classes here and there. So I was able to make sure I had enough stacked like permanent classes, and then knowing like in the future things could change. So when I first started off, of course, I had like the earliest morning classes, like the latest evening classes, which obviously wasn't ideal. But now that it's been like a couple years, I've been able to kind of wiggle it around to a more ideal schedule.
How do you stack your classes with being at different places? Like, do you do like 5 classes at one and then you have an hour and go to the next place?
Yeah.
Or is it day to day?
So kind of day to day, it depends. In the beginning, like I said, it was a lot more chaotic than it is now. Like, for example, my schedule now is like I teach 3 to 4 on Monday mornings, and then I'm done the rest of the day. And then like Tuesdays, I teach 3 in the morning and then 2 in the afternoon. So you kind of have a lot of gaps. Same thing with Wednesday. I teach 3 in the morning, 3 in the afternoon. And Thursdays and Fridays, I usually just teach in the morning. So you can really kind of stack it the best you can, but it does take time. Teachers have their own schedules already. So it's just kind of like working with the moving pieces. If an instructor wants to give up these classes or not, you can kind of hop on them and kind of build your schedule.
Got it.
how you can. Yeah.
Did you, when you were at Hogue, did you only do morning and evening, like before and after work, or were you teaching mainly on the weekends?
Yeah, so that was like a long time ago. I'm trying to remember. But yeah, mostly I think there was one day I would do before work. I think 2 days, Thursdays and Fridays, I did before I went to work. So I would teach like the 6 and 7 o'clock class, and then I would work at Hogue at 8:30. And then I think I was teaching Sundays at the time at Escape. So just kind of had like those 2 morning classes and Escape on Sundays, like 4 classes.
That's so much.
I know. So then I wasn't like working out a ton either, because I would feel like I was just working a lot. So then it's like, you know, I got into Pilates because I love it so much. I love taking the classes. There was like a stint there where like I wasn't taking it as much as I would have liked. But now like my schedule is way more balanced. So yeah.
How do you balance like also being an instructor and then also taking the classes? Like, is it weird now because you like the way you teach?
Yeah. No, I personally love taking classes so much, and I feel like it helps you as an instructor as well, just like with your creativity, especially if you're teaching a lot and you're kind of seeing the same clients throughout the week. I feel like taking classes is probably like the number one tip, just to like keep things fresh, because you'll be like, oh my gosh, I would have never thought about doing that in a class. And you can kind of spin it your own way, like you don't have to copy it, but it definitely keeps your ideas fresh, and you just feel really good obviously when you take a Pilates class. Sometimes I'll just kind of do my own thing like before or after my block of classes, but it's just not the same as taking someone else's like full class.
Do you also do the workouts ever during the class?
Not really. Some instructors do, and they're really good at it. I personally get like really out of breath. Oh, so like I'm gonna start teaching at Soul Tuesday nights. Nice. So I'm really excited. But that, like, I do a lot of the workout with the clients. So I'm just like huffing and puffing into the mic, like trying to compose myself. Reformer, I feel like it's more just kind of like demoing something. Like if they need to see something to help them get into the position a little bit better, I will, but usually not doing like a whole thing with class. Them. Yeah.
No, the instructors at Soul, I don't know. Yeah. Because they do multiple classes.
I know.
Too.
It's crazy. And it's heated. Yeah. So for sure, that's like your double workout of the day.
Yeah, I wouldn't work out after that. Besides Pilates, do you do any other workouts?
I feel like the whole entire last year, I was just doing Pilates. Only Pilates. I would go on walks too, probably like once or twice a week, but I was doing Pilates like 4 to 5 times a week. And then so this year, I'm like, okay, I need to add some variety. Like I said, when I'm demoing something in class, I'll like sometimes get out of breath, and I'm like, this should not be a thing. So I'm like, okay, first I need to incorporate like some cardio. So I started running like once a week, and I've been doing that I think since January now, literally only once a week, like not much more than that. I'm trying to bump it up, so we'll see.
How far do you run?
Usually in the beginning I was just setting a timer for like 30 minutes and just going. I'm like slightly competitive with myself. In the beginning, I was running pretty fast. So I was like, okay, now I know I can run fast. So I'm going to keep running fast. And then like my hips started hurting, all these things. So I'm like just kind of slowing it down now and going a little bit longer, but I haven't gone over like 4 miles. But it just feels good, you know, to like run, get your heart rate up, get a little sweaty.
And it goes quick.
It goes so quick. Yeah. And it's like a really quick workout, like less than an hour, you're in and out. And you get to go to the beach and do it, or like Back Bay. Yes. So very pretty views.
And it's free.
It's free. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that, and then I recently started weight training.
I've seen
Yes. Me and my friend Jemima Mackenzie started coming to Escape Pilates, and she's like a Barry's trainer and a Nike trainer. And so we're like, okay, we want to train with her. She does like personal training out from her gym. So we just do like semi-privates with her, and I love it. It's only been like a little over a month now. And I don't want to say like I'm seeing results and things, but I feel like when you're already working out like Pilates and things, you can kind of see the changes, but more so just like feeling stronger, like after a workout where you're like lifting weights and stuff, you're like, okay, I guess I can like lift heavy things. So it's really fun, and just like also like a social thing, like it's a fun thing that my friend and I can do together. Yeah.
So it was a person who came in and was taking classes that you guys met?
Yeah. So Jemima met her first. She just like started taking Pilates classes at Escape, and then of course Instagram, find out she's a personal trainer and does like semi-privates and things. We're like, perfect, we'll do it. Yeah.
What is she doing, like full body for you guys, or like splits it up?
Yeah, usually full body, because we just go twice a week, usually full body.
That's
but it's super fun. So I feel like that with Pilates, a lot of people have said it's like the best combo. And like I said, I've only been doing it for like over a month now, so I can't really attest to that. But I do love it a lot.
Does it make Pilates easier?
I think so. I feel like you're just overall stronger. And it's funny how like the things kind of translate with each other. Like we'll be doing something at the gym and it's like, we're always thinking like, oh, how can we do this on the reformer? And like, you totally can. So, but like today when I took the class, I just feel like balance is the number one thing. And I'm just noticing things like with the weight training and Pilates, balance is just so hard. So that's my one thing I've been working on too.
That's why I love ClassPass because you can do so many different workouts instead of just having a membership at one place and then you're stuck there.
Yep, I agree. And then you're trying, you know, different instructors, different styles. I love visiting different Pilates studios. We've been going to LA every once in a while. Yeah, there's some they're hardcore in LA, very hardcore. So it's fun, a good like once in a while thing, but it's nice to see, you know, the differences.
Are you guys doing Pilates in LA or what are you doing?
Yeah. So we've been to Heated Room. It's like heated mat Pilates and it's like a sculpt. I would say it's almost like strength training Pilates. Like, you know, the stuff you see on TikTok where the girls like dripping sweat and like just kind of really intense, but it's good. And then we went to this studio called Rise Up Pilates in LA and it's reformer. They have like the towers that are attached to the back of the machine. So just like a lot more stuff you can do, I'm finding with the tower, but again, very hardcore.
There's not too many places here that have the tower.
No, I feel like I really haven't seen it unless it's like private setting. But like this studio has like 10 reformers, I think, and they all have towers attached to it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, what studios do you teach at?
Yeah, so I teach at Live Meta. I'm at their Tustin location. They just opened one in Huntington Beach / Fountain Valley. It's like right on the brink of the two. Laguna Niguel.
Oh wow, so you travel.
Yeah, so I kind of bop around and then Escape Pilates and then Soul. I'm going to be there just Tuesday night.
Do you like teaching in the morning or evening better?
Morning for sure. Yes. I still have like a couple evening classes. I don't know. I feel like it's not the people by any means. Just like me personally, I like to get the work done in the mornings. I like to have the afternoons off. But like the afternoons, like the people who are coming like after work and things, like the vibes are always good. So it's kind of hard to
morning everyone's coming in and out really quickly.
Yes. Like either they're getting to work or they're like moms who have to like get back to their kids and things like that. So yeah, different kind of clientele coming in. So don't really have a preference as far as that, but definitely like to go in the morning.
Yeah. No, I don't really like working out in the evening. Yeah. Because I feel like that's my time after work to like wind down and get everything done.
Dinner, you know, you want to relax a little bit.
Because like an hour is kind of a huge chunk of time.
And then you're sweaty.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I go to work sweaty, which is probably not the best. So if somebody wants to become a Pilates instructor, what's like your advice or like the steps to get through?
First, I think as far as advice, it's very hot right now, Pilates. And it has been at least for like the last year, maybe couple of years. And I feel like it's just going up, you know? Of course, it looks like a really fun job. I wanted to do it because it seemed like a really fun job. So I guess the word of advice would just be like to take as many classes as you can. Like just be sure you want to teach it because it does kind of change things. Like I still love taking Pilates classes, but I don't know. I feel like once you start teaching it, it's just kind of different, you know? So just make sure you like love the workout first and like it's something you want to teach to others because like that love for it will translate to how you teach your classes and like people will kind of just like feed off that energy, you know, when you're teaching. There's so many like trainings, different programs. So I would say just like kind of do your research. If there's like a Pilates instructor that you really like ask them what they did. I've had like a couple gals that I can think at the top of my head who have asked me and like they've signed up. Some are like our Pilates instructors already. So it's very achievable, you know, and it just kind of depends how far you want to take it. Like if you're just looking to teach general group classes, especially in this area, everyone's pretty in the wellness and fitness world. And you can kind of just choose to teach like group classes where you don't really have to like specialize in like different populations or like injuries and things. If you just want to like generally teach, you can kind of just do whatever certification program is going to be like most affordable for you, which one you think, you know, obviously is good and reputable where you want to teach. But I feel like also some people want to go more of like a physical therapy route where they want to work with clients or like athletes or like it's really good for golf or all these like special populations. So that's where you probably want to do one that's a little bit more in depth for how you want to teach.
And what did you do?
I just did, so Live Meta, they offered one, it's called Intensive Reformer. So it's like 6 to 8 weekends, I think, and it's just Reformer. And you're good to teach like basic and intermediate kind of classes. So there's no like special populations in there, no other like apparatuses. So like eventually I want to do like the chair and the tower, maybe the Cadillac. There's just like so many things. So I just did the Reformer, and that's all I've been teaching for now.
Did you also have to get certified for the mat?
Yeah, so that I did during COVID. I did it online. It's called Through Peak Pilates. So again, like mat Pilates, you can kind of do that anywhere. I don't know if they still only do it online. Maybe that was like a COVID special. So yeah, that was like a separate thing. But Live Meta also does a mat Reformer. They do like all their certifications. So yeah, really highly recommend.
What about like making the jump from like quitting your stable job?
Like I said, a little risky, a little scary. Honestly, like I won't go into like super big details of it, but I'm definitely able to like work less and earn a lot more than I was at an office job. Of course, I was like front desk receptionist, so I'm not making like the big bucks there, you know? Compared to that, I haven't like, I guess, like super blown up like my income or things like that, but it's definitely earning more, working a little bit less, more flexible, definitely like a job that I love doing more. I'm like on my feet all day. I just feel like it's a lot more healthy for me versus like an office setting. Yeah, it was just not, it wasn't a terrible job. Like some people do that forever and they thrive in it. But for me personally, just like sitting there all day, and then there's people bringing in treats all the time. And then, you know, working a 9 to 5, like we said, like you don't have a ton of energy to like work out afterwards. So yeah, definitely all good things being full-time Pilates now.
Do you work less than 40 hours, you would say now?
Yeah. So I teach in the beginning, like I said, it was kind of chaos. I just kind of took whatever there was open because I was like, I'm not going to say no to anything. This is like kind of scary. So I was teaching close to like 30 hours a week. And then you kind of like, I don't know, especially when it's something new like that, it's just like kind of a lot. So I don't want to say I was burnt out, but I definitely was like tinkering on, okay, this is a little stressful. And like with the hours, but now I probably teach like 20 to 25 hours a week. So a lot more manageable, have like more breaks throughout the day. Right now I have like weekends off. It's really nice. There's always like sub opportunities. So I can like sub on the weekends if I wanted to. So yeah, definitely more balance in the life.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you like plan in terms of like how much money you wanted to save before you quit, or you just knew like this many hours is going to cover?
Yeah. So I wasn't going into it like saving or anything. I just knew like I was going to have this many classes. You can kind of do the math, obviously, of how many hours I need to work. At first, I was like, I just want to match what I'm making at Hogue. Obviously, I would like to earn more in the future, but at that time, I was just like ready to go into Pilates like full time. And like I said, it was like the start of the year. So I was like, what better time, you know? It's like, let me just go for it. So yeah, I would definitely start it off like immediately. I think it was just like matching what I was making at Hogue. And then like all these crazy classes started opening up and like subs. You can really kind of, especially if you're working for multiple studios, you can kind of work as much as you want to. Like if I have something I want to buy or like something I want to do that costs money, I'm like, okay, I need to teach like 2 to 4 classes and then I can get this thing, you know? So I'll like try to work extra because between the studios, there's a lot of instructors, a lot of people, especially now, like summer plans, you know, there's like so many classes that you can just pick up easily. Yeah. And then all the studios also offer like private sessions. So if you're able to like market yourself like with clients that you've made relationships with and do private sessions with them, then you can kind of build your schedule out that way too.
Obviously, a class is 50 minutes to an hour or 45 minutes to an hour. How much prep do you actually do for that one class?
Yeah, so I've gotten a lot better over the time, but in the beginning it was very time consuming. Oh my gosh, I have a notebook and I still use a notebook now where I kind of guideline like what I'm going to teach just to help me like stay on track during class. But in the beginning I would literally write like the exercise, like every single thing we're going to do in the exercise, like how many reps, like so ridiculous. And it's just like so much to think about, like going back to that while you're trying to lead a group of like 12 people. So it was a little bit of trial and error in the beginning and just like getting used to it. Obviously it takes practice. Obviously I wanted to just lead like a class that flows because I took so many classes. So I know what to expect when I'm working out. So I just like tried to relay that. So it's gone a lot easier now where, again, taking classes helps a lot. But since my schedule's pretty set in its ways as far as where I'm teaching when throughout the week, I can kind of recycle classes throughout the week. So like say the Friday before I teach like 4 classes at Escape, and those are like level 2 classes. So I usually have that kind of be my outline for the following week, because I'm not at Escape again until Wednesday and Friday. And I'm at Live Meta different locations throughout the week. So I'm seeing different people. So I can just kind of recycle that same class. Whereas before, every single day before, I'm like writing out a new flow. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. I have like 5 full notebooks of all these exercises or like workout flows that I don't even refer back to. So it's just kind of, I don't know how other instructors do it. I think some of them do the same.
Yeah, I've seen some with notebooks, but some it just looks like they're making it up on the spot.
Yeah.
Or they ask you like, oh, what do you want to work on today?
I know. That cannot be me, because I'd be like, let me go on Instagram like for an idea. But like at least at Live Meta, there's different like level classes. So as Escape, but Live Meta has more like foundations, which is like very beginner. They have like a level 1.5 class, and then they have like a sculpt class and even like a power class. So I feel like the foundation classes, it's basically just beginners who are trying to like build their way up to progressing to another class. So those ones I don't want to say I wing them, but it's really easy to kind of give them a flow, because you're just building them up to the basics of like core strength and just like working their way around the reformer. So it's definitely gotten easier over time, where now maybe it takes me, I don't know, like 10 to 15 minutes to class plan in my head, or before I would just be like staring at my notebook like I have no idea what I'm going to teach.
What about the music?
Yeah, the music is so fun. I feel like when I first started teaching Pilates, that was like one of the things I was most excited for, is like putting a playlist together. And I feel like reformer is just a little bit different as far as like a HIIT class, or even like a mat Pilates class, where you can really have like the music loud and like you have a mic on and everything. But for reformer, I feel like since it's pretty technical and the class sizes are big, and obviously they're on a machine where it's, you know, like a safety thing, kind of have to have a little bit more mellow music, and it can't be like super loud. But I do really enjoy putting playlists together.
Yeah, I think at Soul, that's one of my favorite things is the music is really, well, not like too loud. I don't want too loud, but they have a mic so you can still hear them.
Yes.
Because sometimes you're in Pilates, you're like, is there any music on?
I can't have it like super low.
Yeah.
I feel like for me, obviously I want to hear the instructor when they're teaching, but it's also like I kind of like to do the moves to the beat of the music if I can. So
I don't want to hear myself.
Oh yeah. If I can hear myself breathing, no thank you.
So for the clients part, how much of your time do you think is spent with private clients, if you haven't?
Yeah, so I probably do like 5-ish hours a week. It kind of varies. You know, some people do private sessions because they've never done Pilates before. So you see them for a little bit and they're like, okay, I'm off to group classes. And then some just like really prefer private sessions. And then some like have injuries where they can't do a group class. So it just kind of varies. But yeah, right now, and I feel like for the last while at least, it's been around 5 clients a week.
Been the same 5 people for a while?
Pretty much. Yeah. So it's really cool to see how they progress and like get stronger, because you can really like have fun with them in a private setting, because you're right there. You can have them try like riskier, more advanced moves, because you're there to like really help them to get into position. So that's really fun. And you just kind of get to chit chat with them a little bit more. Obviously in a group class, I'm just like telling everyone what to do the whole time. So you don't really get to chit chat a whole lot. But I feel like private sessions, you're able to like build more of a relationship with your client.
What's the benefit of doing a private class?
A lot of people come to Pilates and it's like their first time, and they're signed up for like a level 2 class. And you're like, uh-oh. And they're like, yeah, like I work out all the time. Like I'll be fine. Don't worry. And it's just like, you don't know until you try it. Of course, you are probably very strong, but like the reformer is like kind of a beast, and like you just don't know how it moves, and it's pretty risky. Like I've had people fall in class before. It's very scary. Not like, you know, they're getting super hurt, but you know, there is a risk to it. I feel like if you're that kind of person who already works out and you like feel comfortable, I would at least try to go to like more of a beginner friendly class, just so you can really learn how the machine works and for your own safety. And then some people like to bring their elderly family members, you know, like I'm going to bring my mom to class, or my grandma, or like my aunt, or whoever. And like, that's so awesome, because Pilates is for everybody. But I just feel like that, like I would never have my mom just like go take a Pilates class, like level 2, whatever it is. I would highly recommend trying to find like a beginner friendly class, or if you can afford it, do a private session just because you'll really learn a lot more and you'll get way more out of the workout when you go to future classes. So that would be kind of hot tip for that.
I've seen so many older people come in that like never also have or if someone like brings their boyfriend or something.
Oh yes. I know, me too. I love it so much.
I can't wait to take my boyfriend.
Has he ever tried?
No, we've done a spin class together, but the bike was broken, so he didn't think it was hard. Like it wasn't, the resistance wasn't going on. And I was like, of course.
Yeah, of course. You're trying to improve to him.
He's done yoga sculpt with me, which actually is hard. And he was like, this is not yoga, Shelby. I was like, I kind of did that on purpose.
Yeah.
But I definitely want him to take a Pilates class.
Yeah, he has to.
Yeah, just so he knows that it's hard. And then I'm not just having.
Yep. And I think that's most of why the girls bring their guys to Pilates. But also it is very good. It's very good for everybody. But men, I just feel like if you're like lifting weights or like guys run a lot or whatever you're doing, I just feel like everybody and men especially have like tighter hips. Maybe they're not doing as much stretching as the girls are. So it's really good for their bodies. Yeah. So I would highly recommend.
And more professional athletes have been doing Pilates too.
So like I said, Pilates is on the up.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, there's going to be lots of guys in class.
Yeah. Honestly, Pilates, I feel like it's just, the studios here are just booming.
It's crazy. I feel like every month or something, there's like a new Pilates studio opening, and every studio has classes full. So yeah,
everyone's
it's just, for sure.
I hope it doesn't get more and more expensive though.
I know, right?
What's like your goal with Pilates? Do you have like a long-term goal, or you just want to continue being an instructor?
I've been teaching like a little over just about 2 years now. First year, part-time, second year, full-time Pilates. And like I said, I only did the training in Reformer. So I've only been teaching Reformer, and it has definitely been on my list to just like do more workshops and learn more apparatuses. So I feel like I need to kind of set my mind to that as far as like a sooner goal. Like probably the stability chair would be my next thing that I want to get trained in, because Live Meta has chairs for every reformer. So I would definitely be able to like teach that more often. So that would be like the first thing. Like I said, like the special populations, like I've done like a pregnancy one for pregnant women. So I've worked with like some pregnant women private sessions. So that's always really fun. But just small things like that where I can kind of just learn more, educate myself more, so I can kind of broaden my scope of teaching.
If you would learn the chair, everybody in the class can do it.
Yeah. So like obviously Escape doesn't have chairs, but Live Meta has, I think at all their locations, has a stability chair with the reformer. So you can kind of bounce back between the two. Okay. They don't really have like a chair class, but you can work that into your...
What does the chair do?
So it's like it's called a stability chair. It has like a platform and it has like these handles and it has like these split pedals. And there's also springs attached to them. So like the reformer, like different tensions and things. But you can do a whole bunch of stuff on there. Like you can do planks on there. You can do like bridges on there, lunges. But it's basically, obviously reformer challenges your balance and stability. But this one's just like a little extra for that. Yeah.
I've never taken anything besides, actually I've done
what
is it called? The carriage?
The tower?
I've done the tower.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's like the springs attached at the back end of the reformer. Yeah.
And we didn't even do that much because I think one person was new. So she was like, let's not.
So there's just like so many things that you can learn and do. I just feel like I've been so just like in reformer right now that I haven't really focused on anything else. So that's definitely in the future. People are always asking like, do you want to open your own studio one day? Which of course would be like so fun. But I think that's probably way in the distance, you know, like I'm very happy just like teaching for the studios that already exist, go in, teach my classes, and don't have to worry about all the other kind of stuff. But of course it would be fun.
A lot comes in with owning your own studio.
Yes.
Like, there's admin, marketing.
Oh my gosh, so
managing.
Much. Yes. Yeah. And then like having a staff, and so it would be fun for sure. But again, maybe long time in the future. Yeah.
So you had an event. How did you guys come up with that?
Oh my gosh. So that was like our first event thing. Of course, I've been to many events, like Emma's events, taught at them, taken them. And then there's just like so many creative people, I feel like in Costa Mesa, who are doing these kinds of things. So we were like, we should do something like this, because my friend Jemima and I both teach at Escape, and she also teaches at Live Meta. So we kind of have a lot of the same clients, and we all kind of follow each other on Instagram. We're doing like the chit chatting before and after class. But you know how it is when you go to Pilates class, like you get to talk for a couple of minutes and the class starts and it's like the next class is coming in. So you don't really get a lot of time to hang out unless you're really being intentional about like asking someone to go to coffee or something. So we're like, let's just make it easy for everyone and have like a dinner. And then we had like 25 girls.
That's a lot.
Yeah. So we just kind of prepped and we're like, maybe no one will sign up. Maybe we'll have a lot of people sign up. So we're like kind of nervous about it. And we had, 25 girls come. Most of them, I would say, brought a friend with them. But most of them, I feel like, didn't already know each other like from the studio. And everyone just mingled so well. I was like, this is amazing. I was like, I'm going to be worried about, just making sure everyone has like a good time and everything. But everyone was just mingling it up. So it was super fun.
It looked really cute. I'm bummed I didn't get to go.
I know. We missed
50th birthday.
I know. You can't miss that. That's a big one.
I didn't even like know. It was like the day before.
You're like, oops.
I thought her birthday was like the next day.
Oh my gosh.
Did you guys have like games or anything or?
No. So we were thinking about doing that, but I don't know. I think it might've been too much. I was like, maybe we should do like an icebreaker or something too. But no, we didn't do anything like that. Literally the girls showed up. We put together like little goodie bags for the first 5 girls who arrived. So that was fun. And then we just made like little cards, like thank you cards for the girls. And then everyone got there, ordered their dinner, their drinks, and like got to chatting. Me and Jemima did like a little speech, just like thanking everyone for coming. We hung out till like pretty late, like almost 11 o'clock. Wow. Yeah. So it was really fun. I think we're probably going to do another one, something similar to that. Or like we were thinking of doing like a hike or something.
Cute.
Yeah. So that'll be fun.
I think there's a lot of people here that also want to meet people. Like you said, when you first moved here, you didn't really have that many friends.
Yes.
It's like events like that is where people
meet
people.
And I feel like there's really just so many like that in Costa Mesa. So if you're looking for friends, of course it's like a little nerve wracking to like put yourself out there, especially if you don't have like someone to go with. But I feel like it always turns out to be a good thing. You're always going to make a friend. So
and it's a common interest too. Like the person who's going there also by themselves is trying to meet someone just like you.
And then if it's like ours was like a Pilates thing, so you already have something to talk about and it just kind of leads into a whole nother conversation.
Did you have like a wait list or anything or like?
We did. So, and of course things like come up like last minute, like some people had to cancel and things like that. So we had like 8 people on the wait list.
Wow.
We literally, Jemima came over and we were like watching the signups come in and we were like screaming like, oh my God, people are actually signing up. So it was like really fun to do that.
Yeah, it's cute.
Yeah.
And you guys met through Pilates, right?
Yeah. So she started taking my classes probably, I don't even know, soon after I first even started teaching. Started coming to my classes. We would just like say hi to each other, like started complimenting each other's outfits and shoes. Next thing you know, we follow each other on Instagram. And then, we like went on a coffee date together and then just kind of became friends.
Hit it off.
Since then, it's really funny how you can just become besties with someone so quickly. Yeah. And then, so she was an instructor at a time and she did Pilates training with Escape. And then, so that's how she started teaching Pilates.
Wait, that's crazy.
Yeah.
You guys kind of followed each other's footsteps.
Yeah.
Aww.
I know.
Super I have taken her classes. I really like her classes.
Oh, really?
So,
yeah.
Yes. At Escape.
They're hard.
Well, we can wrap it up already.
Okay.
Is there anything else you'd like to say?
If I haven't met you already, I hope you come to one of my classes. My Instagram's Pilates by Angie. Kind of has the studios I teach at on there. But I would love to meet you if I haven't already.
Is your schedule on your Instagram too?
I actually need to update it with the new studio location opening and like me starting to teach at Seoul. There's kind of been some changes. So I will definitely update that and put that on there so you know where and when to find me.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for coming
on. Of course.
on.
Thank you. It was so fun.